So coming up in this video, I will talk about oneness, what it looks like, how we're going to get there, and I'll be in nature. Enjoy. Peace. So, I'm out here, just chilling in nature, and I'm just going to calmly talk about oneness and what it looks like. How do we get there? So I'll start off by saying that we're already weaving our way like the roots of a tree, where the seeds are planted in the oneness of love that's coming and going to bless our Mother Earth, all of us, all beings, all colours, creeds, nations, everything. It's all going to be one loving place, a pristine paradise on Earth. So it's like the seeds have been planted, and it's like the soil is being tampered with by dark energy, and that's what's happening in all over the world. And this dark energy hasn't, our seeds have not been able to germinate because, they've been kind of drowned completely down in the darkest pits of anywhere, which comes into our environments. Everything that we see, our food, division, countries, separation, there's never really been a oneness in everything. Everything is set for individuality and materialism, and the programming within ourselves is so far gone and been worked on for thousands and many more years. But now is a time when the oneness is going to start forming, and it has. The seed's been planted. So as we begin to sprout, we will start to form our roots to what I will call the tree of life of the oneness of the world, of all of us. And we're all part of that. And this includes all beings here on the other side, like angels and warriors and natives. They're all here for this. If they haven't been reincarnated into crystal children, or the generation a little bit more like my generation, and then the generation higher up, more of the elders with that wisdom. So yeah, that's where we're at, and this tree, this root is going to form. It's going to be the stability, and this is where everything comes into realizing that. I'll just read one paragraph that opens up my book, Just Imagine, because I explain it much better in this, but I want to do these videos as well. So this is my opening paragraph. So I put my author voice on. Chapter 1, One Love. Just imagine a world where the only known religion is love, and where living in a loving paradise of peace, harmony, goodwill and prosperity is a way of life. The law of love, the life of peace, and the kind-heartedness to oneness are just the new beginnings to our sprouting seeds. I just said about that, that's mad, isn't it? I know I wrote it in my book, but the new beginnings to our sprouting seeds of planted peace and tranquil ease. Our garden of euphoria is becoming our soul-soothing utopia. So our garden is what we're creating, and we've never really been. We've had many times like Atlantis and Lemuria and stuff, and there's been highly advanced civilizations, but we are them. We are gods here for this. I know my role. And I'm pretty sure when you start connecting, you'll feel your role, but it all leads to the teachings of oneness and love and purity and that peace of life, you know? So if you think about it right now, slavery is being spoken of. It's not being accepted. There was a Juneteenth just happened in America. Was it the 19th? Sorry, Juneteenth. Yeah, in America just happened where yeah, it's all about slavery and about the, you know, we need to let this go and realise that the dark energies have made slaves. There should never be a slave ever on earth. It should be, you know, one nation where we come together to help each other. And once we realise that all of the cultures in the world, we're all believing, or religion or different aspects of that, we're all believing in the same thing. One way or another, we're believing that there's an outer power, a source energy. Call it God, call it Allah, call it Buddha, call it anything. The spiritual masters were here one day. They walked amongst us. And we believe in these, many of us, all creeds all over the world believe in these different things, but it all comes down to the core of us, that within our heart space, not our head space, our heart, Mother Earth, earth spelt heart, you know, we are all her. We are her breath, her aloha. And that's where the oneness comes in, and that's coming out now gradually. So we're realising that we're connecting more with people in different countries, and we're realising that there's no difference. We've all got the same love. We've all got the same... We're becoming into that time where we've all got the same vision for worldwide peace. So it is happening. There is this unity, and there's cultures. We're starting to realise that sometimes there's religion that's made by man, and then there's the religion of love that comes from above, below, in our mother, all around us, the particle of God, the oneness of love that Jesus spoke of, without getting all biblical. And that's what we're coming into. This is the most epic time in universal history. And one thing is that the birds are coming in more. You'll see it more. You might have moments where you just see a bird and you just get this little, you just get like a little feeling. It's like a Holy Spirit energy. It's like a Christ consciousness energy. It's the God particle. It's that oneness. We feel it sometimes. Many times in the world, there's been people that are saved by animals, or they come back from death miraculously. You know, like dolphins have stopped great white sharks from attacking humans, and yeah, I know people that have got washed out to sea and then sharks have led them back to shore. I've looked in the eye of a great white shark, had just surfaced and turned its eye, looked to me, and I knew there was more to this, man. There's more to this. We don't need to be killing each other. I mean, yeah, I wrote in my book very much, you know, that we're never going to feel the need to harm any other being, because we won't feel that anger, that hatred, all the lower vibrations. Once these lower vibrations have gone and oneness is within our heart space, we will just be in the moment, and everything will just be, and it will just vibrate, and it will pulsate, and it will be just like this ecstatic euphoria of elation, of an elated feeling. And that's where we're going, and we're not going to need to worry about anything else. And all the animals can come in and teach us their song and how love always was supposed to win. And we'll see these moments coming more and more and more. There's different animals coming in with the whole coronavirus. Our mothers being able to breathe. There's less tourists all over the, you know, pollution and all that stuff. It's all changing. Our mothers starting to breathe, and it's all about oneness. So it is happening. And how we get there is just by connecting to our heart space and letting things unfold, not worrying about things too much, realising that nothing has to be materialistic based. Paper is just energy. When we work, do we want to work? Are we doing it for, you know, what are we actually trying to get our programming is so difficult, and it's hard to take away from all the conditioning we've got, you know, work, and then we come back and we watch TV, we watch the news. Just the more we think that things are normal now in a 3D environment, if we can open our minds to realise that there's so much more eloquent beauty to come, and it's actually all around us. And yes, mainstream media is controlled and our whole lives are manipulated so that we only see what we're supposed to see, and that's why there's laws and restrictions, and you can't go to another country. We should be able to go to any country in the world, one passport, one love. You know, there shouldn't be all this separation. I can't go here, you have to have a piece of paper, you have to go bend over backwards. It cost me about 35 grand just to get residency in Australia, and there's certain different things that have got in the way of that as well. And everything we have to work for, everything is so hard in this world, and we just realise if we just don't have to compete with everyone, we just come together with one love. There's going to be a day when there's amateur World Cups, and we're going to get behind the cameras with movies, and we realise that mental health sufferers are the best actors ever known, far better than any actor that's been to stage school and all that. Yeah, they can help us a bit and fine-tune us, but a world of love is just so much easier than what we may think. It's not that hard to deprogram us. And now is the 21st of June here, 20th of June in you know, like America and other places, because I'm in Australia, but it's still the solstice, you know, it's that time, and that's when the dark energy is gone more, and now we can start stepping into a newer, more peaceful environment where we can tap into the one love, the conscious, and look at the animals, look at the trees, feel the nature. I talk differently when I'm in nature compared to when I'm at home. I'm like speaking more calmly, and we can ground more. So what does a world of oneness, that's kind of how it's going to create, because it's going to come and we're going to connect to different people all over the world, and we're going to tap into our heart space. We're going to realise that the natives, the angels, the animals, we're all here, and we're all helping each other get over the line into this world of oneness, and everything's through our choice. And sometimes we can just chill and sit back, and we don't have to have the need. Sometimes there could, you know, we can be a little bit more disciplined and focused. We don't need to drink alcohol, we don't need to eat the bad foods. We can do a bit of fasting, we can cleanse our body, we can cleanse our spirit, and the divine will work through us. Mother Earth wants to talk to us. It's all about one love. It's really easy. We don't need no separation of sides or divides or anything like that. If somebody's not serving you, we don't just walk away, man. Know your truth. Whatever you say, you have the birthright to say whatever you want. You have the birthright to go wherever you want, do whatever you want. You don't need to be told what to do, and more of us that just do that, the more one love we just step into. Because our higher selves, our spirit, our soul, our being wants love. We all want love. It's obvious, and we're finding the small things in life, the little bit of kindness that you can give to anyone, the little donation to a cause that means something to you. You know, money goes a lot further in these third world countries, and when we can get these third world countries and lift them up, the oneness will start happening, because everything's about vibrations. The truth is, the world's still not in a very good vibrational frequency, and when it is, it's like a rainbow aura all around the world. It's the golden age, the golden era, the cracked egg. We're going to elevate into a place where we're going to be like, we're going to look back at our world today, and we're going to realise, like, this is literally like hell on earth, because we haven't got the freedom. Yeah, millionaires and billionaires seem to have a lot of freedom, and the power people and the hierarchy and the everything. But when we realise we're all one, we don't need that. And the ones that have been suffering the most are going to be the ones that's going to be able to shift easier, because we're already used to the pain and suffering and watching the others gain, watching their fame, watching them go apparently up there. Materialism is a curse, but the money of energy is what's going to temporarily rebuild the world until we won't even need that. So that's like how easy it is to get there, because everything's within, and you just be kind and just trust the divine, because belief is the biggest thing. That's all we need. and the vibrations are slowly vibrating. Truth's coming out about everything. It's vibrating out more and more and more. Of our mother's heartbeat is coming out more. And the truth's coming now. It's being exposed. The dark cannot hold on for long. The oneness is coming. So that's a little bit about how we're going to get there. Just by gliding with the wind, seeing the storm around, and just knowing that we are spiritual beings, angels, here for a reason. And we don't want suffering anymore. We don't want pain. We don't want poverty. We don't want people on the streets, homeless. It's one love. And that's just a little idea of oneness. I go into it a lot more easier in my first chapter, which was 1,111 words, and I'll leave the link in this video as well. 75% of my physical copies of my book are going direct to places in Africa, and mainly Africa now, Pakistan soon, and other places that come to me. And you know, I'm doing my bit, and there's going to be photos and everything on my Facebook page. Just imagine, which is Facebook.com/the13th warrior, like the 13th light warrior. But yeah, and that'll all be on there. So a world of oneness. What does it look like? So once we shift, and once there's this, like, you know, there's going to be a solar flash. There's going to be all these upgrades that are happening now to our DNA, and once we get into that world, it's where our mother begins to just breathe. Fruits and trees, Lemuria comes up. You know, all the underground tunnels and stuff. There's going to be a day where all of the excess sea that we don't need will go in, and it will just flood out all these underground purposely built places. There's like more than 1,500, I think, or 14,000 underground dams. They're all worth like about $18 billion each, you know. They're all sick things. It's hell down there in a lot of these places. And the world of oneness is just going to be abundant. Everything's just going to be moving. There's going to be, and because we're all atoms and we're frequency, vibration and sound, everything's going to move with us. Everything's going to be like synchronicity. When I worked in indigenous communities, you know, like I said in other videos, there was like babies walking across a busy dance floor at night, a disco, vibes going, music, flashing lights, and there's a little baby, but everything synchronizes because they're in that elevation. The indigenous, the oldest culture currently on earth at the moment, and it synchronizes, it works. And that's the oneness we're going to go into when we can just wake up and everything works for us. It's like magic. It's like everything will just be there, and we will feel like this such a loving feeling. Like sometimes, I don't know, if you've done tampered with drugs or different things or mushrooms or sacred plant medicine, you can go to that elevated level. That's what's coming, and we don't have to rush it. We can just let it come. And the best oneness or connection that you've ever felt on them sacred medicines is going to be more of a taste of what's to come, because it's going to be blissfully beautiful and eloquently delightful. It really is. And when everything just works, and we can just be like, oh, okay, oh, I'd really like to do this today, and you just do it because it just comes. And that's when the supernatural, superhuman gifts come in, with telepathy and knowing where we're going and what we're doing. There's going to be a day when there's light bodies, the fruit, the forests, the greenery, the tranquil oceans, the animals, that, you know, everything is just going to be becoming more abundant, and we're going to connect, and we're going to be like seeing animals differently. We're not going to want to harm anything. It's going to be this one loving place where we can literally, we won't have the fear of a lion in the Serengeti. There will be a day where everything will just come in, and it's like you'd never want to hurt or harm. And it's like, you know, it's like a lion or an elephant will be like a brother or sister, and like, you know, someone from, say, I don't know, Russia or Egypt or Mongolia, wherever it is, we're just brothers and sisters. There's no black, white, yellow, green, whatever the colour, pink. It's like a rainbow aura, and that's the oneness of love that's coming to bless us. And we think that these days, the beautiful sunsets, the beautiful whatever you think is your wildest fantasy, it's going to be much more. Well, your wildest fantasies are going to come true, and there's a reason why you've had these fantasies and these desires and these dreams, and you're like, oh, I wish that was real, flying and all this stuff. We created ourselves as the God within us, but it's been taken from us. But when we get it back is when we realise, and that's why we never need to have a desire to give up, because the oneness is coming. The taste of fruit is going to be like a tantalizing aroma of everything. Just every bite, every mouthful is just a delight. And that's what's coming. We're not going to want to eat bad food. We're already learning that anyway. So many of us are changing. This all orchestrating to the oneness that's coming. I mean, yeah, just being able to go to any country in the world just through a thought, and there's evidence of this already happening, and it's what we used to do back in the day. We used to be able to make things, you know, the pyramids. Ascended people shut their eyes and they would precisely put the pieces in the exact geometric places. And don't forget, there's a lot of extraterrestrials that are protecting us as angels all around. They're going to step in. It's going to be this beautiful place, this pristine paradise on earth, this oneness where we're just going to know this was why we're here, for it. And it's going to be so beautiful, so green, so tropical. And like things like, you know, like literally going in the water and like having a connection with, we already have a connection with dolphins anyway, pretty much. And like whales and sharks and whatever, like lions and wolves, a giraffe, an elephant, and everything, like, you know, like being taught by the cultures and like enjoying the culture, like realizing, like, you know, like I've got a friend in Nepal and his daughter's just you know, started going through the premenstrual cycle, and he's not allowed to see her for like a week, and it's really just it's horrible for her because she has to be with strangers. She's not allowed to see her dad and that, and you know, and that's a kind of like I don't know, like a based on a kind of religion or whatever it is, made by man. No love would want to separate a father from his daughter when his daughter is going through something bad, and the same as a mother and a daughter, whatever it is. That's a little kind of inkling without going into the religion side of it, because it's not man, it's not pure most of the time, made by man. There's so much deception, and it goes away from love, goes away from one love. One love doesn't want any separation from any nation anywhere in the world. And when we do, we're in this tropical paradise, like in the Dead Sea, that I've channeled a lot about that. There's going to be like more of a paradise of our outer seas, where we're just floating around. There's miraculous mud, there's all of these herbs. We think there's herbs and plant medicine, when plant medicine and sacred medicine and ceremonies are more normal and widespread, rather than ecstasy, crystal meth and heroin and all that, you know. We're going to realise, and it's going to be like, whoa, we're going to be like, you know, like when we hug each other, it's going to be an elevation, a vibration of just euphoric elation. It's just going to be up there. And when our chakras are all aligned, and this whole one love that so many people have spoken of, like, I mean, Bob Marley's been, he said it loads. He's a legend, you know. Jesus, Buddha, they've all said the same thing. John Lennon, and it's just that oneness, that purity, that like feeling of like every breath is just a delight. And some people, they might be elevating at a higher level, but it's still nothing compared to the whole oneness, because we need to take the hand of thy neighbour, lift them up into this world of oneness, because many suffering souls out there are still smiling, even when their family's dying. And I mean, what are we doing? We're slowly dying each day, and we're not supposed to live until when we do, you know, like what's the average death? I don't know, between 60 and 70 or 75 or whatever. We're living in this world circulating paper, but because we think that our imagination is limited. It's not, you know. Change is imminent. Love is permanent. And that is a little bit about oneness and one love, and where we're going. There's a lot more to it, but just use your imagination to see what's coming. It's all around us, it's everywhere. We just need to open our eyes to it, see from above the mountain, not from within the tunnel, and just know that it's easy. Now, my next video I'll do a little bit about letting go, and how we can just let go and feel the flow and go into it a bit more. So yeah, much love. And that's a little bit about oneness and how we get there. Thank you.